What's up, everybody? Chris Gault here, Healthy Living with Chris Gault, and we are now on week 11 of our vegan, plant-based diet, lifestyle, whatever you want to call it. We're going strong, we're still doing it, and we're feeling great, so just stay tuned. All right, so we decided to run a different way, go to the harbor. It's not that far from our house. And you can see the seals, you can hear them at least, behind me. I'm gonna show you closer. So this is the harbor in Oceanside, California. So I'm not sure if you can see this, but the waves will light up because it's bioluminescence out there. So I'm going to try to capture something like that. We're off in Oceanside, and there's bioluminescence in the water. You can see it, especially when the waves hit. All right, so you're probably wondering why did I show you some bioluminescence, out there in the waves, and I just want to show you, as starting to go on this vegan journey, I'm learning that, all forms of life, no matter how small, is a precious gift to us all, and you don't really, sometimes you just don't notice it when you're walking around or doing whatever, but something like that is pretty amazing because, and I know the clip doesn't do it justice. You see some of that from the clip, but you really don't see these big waves crashing, and you see it all light up in bright blue in the middle of the night. It's pretty cool, but it just shook me a little bit because it just made me really realize all life out there is precious, and we should really treat it that way. All right, so we're on a walk with our dog, and we're trying to do the right thing when it comes to coronavirus. So we're wearing our masks, and we're socially distancing, and our dog is right there, and she's enjoying life. All right, well, we're on our walk. We're trying to be socially distancing ourselves and having our mask on, but our dog, as you can see right there, conked out. She got a little tired. So we're gonna carry her for a little while, right?
Yeah, we got about a block to go.
Yeah, we only have about a block to go. She did really well. She walked the other like half a mile or mile or whatever it is that we did. But it looks like she's a little tired now, and but we'll get her back home. All right. So if you watched any of my plant-based vegan vlogs in the past, you'll know that one of the things I like to do is find some interesting things about vegan lifestyle, about the vegan lifestyle, and just searching on the web and just sharing that with you. So one of the things I'm looking at right now, and I never heard of these people. It's kind of funny. It's called Useless Daily. Is the name of the website. So uselessdaily.com, and it's your useless daily gazette. So I guess they're having a little bit of fun there, and their little icon there, you can't really probably see it from there, has a little Albert Einstein cartoon character. So they put up an article called Veganism Trivia, 15 facts about the vegan lifestyle. So some of these I knew, some of these I didn't know. So I'm just gonna go over some of these. I'm not gonna read it word for word, but I'm just gonna blow through them. So, but this one I didn't know. It says several studies show that a plant-based diet increases the body's metabolism, causing the body to burn calories up to 16% faster than the body would on a meat-based diet. So obviously it makes sense because to go this route, because you're going to be burning fat, you're going to be looking a lot better, and it's not burning muscle, but it's burning fat, and I think that's a great thing, because that's what who doesn't want to lose their body fat, right? And I haven't heard too many people say they have too little body fat on them. So anyway, the next one is veganism is a way of life that alters diet, clothing, and other decisions with the goal of ending exploitation of animals. Now that one I did know, and probably the rest of us knew that one too. But it is different than vegetarians. Obviously, they can have dairy and stuff like that. Studies show that a vegetarian diet could feed more people than a meat-based diet. So only about 20% of the corn grown in the United States is eaten by people, and the other 80% of the corn is actually eaten by livestock. So, and the same thing with oats. 95% of the oats grown in the United States is actually, it goes to feed livestock. So they did a study, and it looks like that if you didn't have the livestock there and you just fed the people with that food, you'd be able to feed an additional 1.3 billion, and I did say billion with the B, people if everyone ate that way. I mean, think about that. That's how much inefficient animal proteins are. All right, moving on. Number 4, vegan foods are free of all animal products such as meat, eggs, fish, and dairy. So that's where I knew that, but I know some people might get confused that, you know, if you're vegetarian, it's the same thing as being vegan, but there's a lot of things that, you know, vegans don't eat that vegetarians can, and mainly it's milk products and it's like honey. Those are the two big ones. But that means like all cheese. So a vegetarian can eat cheese while a vegan can't, and sometimes that comes into play because, you know, I ordered what I thought I was getting a vegan bean and guacamole taco one time, and they put cheese on it. You know, so you have to be more specific when you're a vegan versus a vegetarian. But anyway, just wanted to throw that out. Number 5 is ethical vegans also avoid the use of animal products. Like they won't use any animal product, and I kind of knew that, but they won't use leather or fur or like feathers in the pillows. You know, you did like a down pillow or down jacket. They won't use those. Number 6 is research reveals that if a man avoids red meat, it improves the sex appeal of his body odor. So that's kind of interesting. So I guess, I mean, I don't know, but I guess the body odor smells better to women if you're not on a meat diet. So that's kind of interesting. So if you're young, single, whatever, you want to pick up a woman and you can't, switch to a plant-based diet and maybe it'll help you out. Number 7 is the number of animals killed for meat every hour in the United States. And this kind of floored me. This is every hour. So, you know, how many animals are killed for food every hour is 500,000 animals. So think about that. And there's 20, well, they probably do it 8 hours a day. But I mean, think about that. Every hour. No, actually, I think they're talking about a 24-hour day. So, I mean, think about how many. That's 12 million animals a day, right? So just throwing that out, that's pretty amazing. Number 8 is approximately 5% of the U.S. is vegetarian. So it doesn't sound like a lot of people, but that's about 16 million people. I think I had this on another tip. We got another fact that was out there on one of my other videos. But about half of those are vegan. And so 7.5 million people in the United States. So it doesn't talk about the rest of the world. But 7.5 million people in the United States are vegan. So, and I think the United States is a pretty heavy meat-eating country compared to the rest of the countries out there. So, I don't think we're the heaviest, because obviously there's other countries out there that I think consume a lot more meat than Americans do. But we're not the lowest either. So, anyway, that's how many are. So you think about, if you take it for the world, there's probably it's probably hundreds of millions of people who are vegan throughout the world. Um, Vegan living often reduces the intake of saturated fat, animal hormones, and cholesterol while increasing the intake of fresh fruits and veggies. This has the potential to reduce the risk of cancer, diabetes, obesity, and heart disease. Now, I mentioned that one a lot through my journey, and that's one of the reasons why I even started this journey, because to me, that was a very important thing, is to get my body healthy. And I love the fact that I'm also helping out the animals and the environment when I can help out myself. And so I think it's a win-win-win situation. Number 10 says World Vegan Day is annually celebrated on the 1st of November. So I don't know what you do. I wasn't vegan back on the 1st of November, so I don't know if there's a party, but maybe just go around, find someone who's vegan and pat them on the back. I don't know. But anyway, World Vegan Day is November 1st. Number 11, many vegans suffer from vitamin B12 deficiency. And from my other studies, I find that is true, but it's also true that many meat eaters also suffer from vitamin B12 deficiency. So it's very difficult to get vitamin B12. I'm not even sure what it's in yet. I have to look that up. But you can get it in vitamins. So what I do suggest is everyone, not just vegans, but everybody, take at least a multivitamin. And you can get a vegan one. I take a vegan organic multivitamin every day, and that gives me B12 and all a bunch of these other vitamins. And that way I'm assured, it's like an insurance policy, and I mentioned this in a lot of videos, but it's like an insurance policy where you're going to make sure you're getting enough vitamins in. So you want to get your vitamins from food. But what this is, it's a great insurance policy, so that in case you don't get those vitamins in from food, you get them in from the vitamin, so you're covered. Anyway, I hope I made sense of that. I know I kind of rambled there for a minute, and I apologize. Number 12, this one I didn't know, but back in the 1940s, it was a lifestyle in search of a name. That means vegans were in a lifestyle in search of a name. At first, they came up with dairy ban, but that didn't quite cut it. Neither did Vitin or Benivore. In the end, 6 early adherents, so 6 people, I guess, who started this, including Donald Watson, the British animal rights campaigner, settled on vegan to describe their philosophy, that animals should not be exploited for food or any other purposes, and founded the Vegan Society. So the Vegan Society was back since the 1940s, and I really didn't know that it was around back in the 1940s. So that's kind of surprising to me. So I learned something today, Number 13 is veganism is protected as a human right under Article 9 of the European Convention for the Protection of Human Rights. So don't let anyone take your right away from being vegan. Just like we shouldn't take the rights away from anyone living any kind of life they want. So if someone wants to be a carnivore and the laws state that that's okay, then we shouldn't hassle people for them living the life they want to live. So we all live the life we want to live. And, if it just so happens that we get enough knowledge out there and people see what happens when animals are used for food and what happens on farms, then maybe the demand for those products will go down. And that's a much better way than just going around telling people they can't do something. What you do is you try to load them up with knowledge, and with that knowledge, you hope that they come around and do the right thing. Anyway, that was that one. Number 14 is the Vegan Society runs a mentoring scheme to help people who would like to become vegan, and it's called the Vegan Pledge. The number of pledgers have doubled in the last year, with over 100 people taking the pledge each month. I'd never taken the pledge. I didn't even know there was a pledge, so I just found that out. Maybe I'll take the pledge. I pledge to be a good vegan. Oh, God, I hope this is not made out of leather. The last one, so this is number 15. Many people who live on the vegan diet without any supplements are prone to develop anemia. And anemia, I think I pulled that up because I knew it was like low iron, but the definition of anemia is a condition in which you lack enough healthy red blood cells to carry adequate oxygen to your body's tissues. Having anemia can make you feel tired and weak. There are many forms of anemia, each with its own cause. Anemia can temporarily or can be temporarily or long-term. Temporary. I can't speak. I think I'm having problems. I must be anemic. But anyway, it could be short-term or long-term, basically, and it can range from mild to severe. So typically, anemia comes from being iron deficient, and so there's a lot of iron in meat, so you get there. But it's also in other non-meat products. I know that there's in spinach and leafy greens and things like that. And I may come out with a video later, just on like how do you get iron from plants, plant-based iron video or something, down the road. But you can get, I know you can get it, but again, that also goes into getting that one a day vitamin and mineral pill, because that way at least you're covered if you don't get it from food, which, that's the best place to get it if you can. Anyway. All right, so we're gonna have spaghetti squash lasagna. It's vegan. So we're gonna have to come up with a vegan cheese, and we'll show you how we make that. And I'm just gonna show you a little bit of it right now. So it starts with two spaghetti squashes, cut in half and put in the oven at 350. And so that's in the oven, and it's about for 45 minutes we're going to put this on. Right now we got about 42 minutes left. Just a little tip, spaghetti squash can be pretty tough to cut in half, and you don't want to take your hand off. So one of the things that makes it a little bit easier is you put them in the microwave for about a minute, and it softens them up, and then when you go to cut them, it's a lot easier. So we did that. We put the 4 halves in the oven, and now we're just waiting for the next step. All right, so I took these babies out of the oven, and we're gonna let them cool down. All right, these babies are cooling down now. You can see they look great. They've been cooked. And Robin, what are you doing?
I'm just getting the tofu mix ready, so over there I'm pressing the tofu right here.
Oh, I see. Underneath this can opener?
Right, I always forget to press it, so I gotta press it.
That gets rid of some of the moisture, I guess?
Yeah, and then I just put in the olive oil, the salt, pepper, oregano in there right now.
Oh, okay. That looks good.
And it calls for vegan Parmesan cheese.
Right.
But as you know, the store didn't have any. So
amazing enough that sometimes stores run out of vegan Parmesan cheese.
Right. So we had some vegan mozzarella cheese here at the house. So I am going to use that instead. And we don't have a shredder. So I am just, cutting it up in really small pieces. And then
you're the shredder.
I'm the shredder. Then I'm going to add some nutritional yeast, some lemon juice, and then my tofu will be ready. And you might want to, we'll film that because there is a technique to that. You crumble it all up so it becomes like a ricotta cheese.
Right, so you're kind of making the tofu be a replacement for ricotta cheese in your lasagna.
Right. And then we'll get to the squash. And I'm letting the squash cool down. We baked that, and I got to pull all the squash out. But it's obviously much easier to do once it cools down. So I'm doing all this in the meantime.
Right. All right. Sounds good. All right, so you're just going to pour that in there.
Yeah.
So that's where you had all your spices and your oil.
Right. And then I'm going to get the nutritional yeast.
Okay. So I guess that gets all mixed up. And you got to get some nutritional yeast in there. And this is what healthy eating looks like, in case you were wondering. It's a lot of great vegetables. We're not going to be eating a lot of these tonight, but we're going to be having them in the next couple of days. Got the nutritional yeast there?
Yeah.
All right. So nutritional yeast, I know sometimes it makes it almost look like cheese, right?
Yeah.
It almost comes out like cheese after you cook it or whatever. And that's all your stuff combined now.
Yeah, I just have to wait a little while for the tofu. I really need it to get drained.
Oh, I see. Oh, so the tofu goes in that bowl too.
Yeah, everything goes
You're gonna
in
chop
here.
it up and then mush it, or you're gonna mush it all up and make the ricotta cheese out of that. Okay,
Right.
got it. All right, now you're pulling the squash out, huh?
Yeah.
Let me just get in there and show a detailed view of this. So, what's cool about spaghetti squash is it almost looks like spaghetti, which is why I guess they call it that when you pull it out, right?
Right. And you use a fork, you know, and it pulls it apart really easy.
And the fork kind of makes it look like, give the appearance of, well, I guess it looked like spaghetti squash anyway, even if you use a spoon, but I guess the fork works better.
I think so, yeah.
So you probably noticed I changed my shirt because we're gonna go for a quick run. Spaghetti squash is all done, and so now we're just we're gonna put all this together when we get back from our run, and after we actually run and then take a shower, then we'll put all this together. So anyway, here's just another view of the spaghetti squash, because I don't think I gave you a great view of it. But you can see it's just all pulled out of the shells, and it's just in a bowl right now. This is Robin mixing up the spices and I guess the cheese. And then you're gonna put the tofu in there in a little bit.
Yeah.
And we'll do that when we get back from our run, right?
Yeah.
You ready for the run?
Ready for the run.
All right, let's do it. All right, so while we're waiting, we're getting our running, before we finish the dinner. So we're running on the Strand in Oceanside. Right, Robin?
Yeah, they just opened it a couple days ago.
Yeah, but we're still practicing safe social techniques with our masks and keep making sure we're keeping away from people. But the ocean's beautiful behind us and in front of us, and we're enjoying that. All right, run is done. All right, we're back from the run and we are freshly showered. So where are we now?
All right, so I just had the basil. I just chopped up all the basil.
Oh, okay.
And I threw it in the mixture, you know, with the yeast and the spices and stuff. And now the tofu's been sitting a long time, so it's sufficiently drained of any moisture. So I washed my hands, and I'm now going to just crumble it up in here. All right?
Yep, sounds good.
So you could see, Chris, if you can get in here, you can see how it already looks. It has like the texture of ricotta cheese, right?
Right, yeah, it looks like ricotta cheese. So you just kind of keep smashing it all together with that stuff.
Yeah, now I'm going to mix it up with this stuff. Usually I like to smush it up first and then mix it up, and then I'll add all these ingredients, but I always forget to drain the tofu, and so I like to get stuff done ahead of time. All right, so I have the sauce. You can make your own sauce if you want, but I'm not making mine. So I just put a little in here.
But we do use an organic. We always make sure it's organic though, just because it's a lot cleaner that way. Organic and vegan is kind of what we look for.
And then I'm going to take about a third of the squash. I'm going to squeeze it out. It's really wet. I don't know why it's really wet this time. It's kind of interesting. But I'm taking about a third of it, and I'm making a small one. And the reason I'm making a small lasagna tonight is one of our squashes. Did we talk about that, Chris?
I don't think we did.
Yeah. So it called for 2 large squashes, and they didn't have large ones at the store, so I bought 3. And the first one I cut into was kind of gross. We think it had worms in it. They weren't moving, but that's because I microwave it for 3 minutes before I try to cut it. So I poke holes in it, and then I microwave it for 3 minutes, then I cut it. Chris talked about that, I know. But so they weren't moving because they were probably microwave, but it was very disgusting. So we only have 2 squashes, so I'm making a smaller lasagna than normal. And so I put the sauce in, then I put a third of the squash in, and now I'm going to put a third of the tofu mixture in.
All right, and I was just going to say, as a side note, the reason why we won't eat worms is because we're vegan now.
Well, that's not necessarily true. We are vegan, but...
we wouldn't eat the worms anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
They weren't pretty worms at all, so.
Okay. So I got that. Now I'm going to put another layer of sauce in.
All right. I like the sauce. You're loading it up, right?
Yeah, you asked for more sauce this time.
Yeah. I'm still not a huge tofu fan, so it kind of makes the tofu taste more like ricotta cheese when you put more sauce on it. But I vow to learn to eat it. All right, now Robin's gonna be adding another layer, so we'll show it to you what it looks like when all the layers are in. But I think it's like, how many, 3 layers altogether?
3 layers, yeah.
Yeah, so 3 layers. So we'll show it to you when she's done. Okay, so you have 3 layers now. You're putting the last layer of sauce on. I'm gonna spread it out. I always say the more sauce, the better. But I grew up Italian, so.
Your mother wouldn't have used this sauce, I'm sure.
No, she would have made her homemade sauce, but that takes like a whole day, so. I can tell you right now, I don't think she does that anymore.
All right, well there's lots of sauce on this one. Hopefully it'll be good for you tonight.
Yep, I'm sure it will.
All right, that's it. Now it just has to go in the oven.
All right, perfect. How long does it go in the oven for?
I don't know. I'll check the recipe and I'll let you guys know before we put it in the oven.
All right. To go with our spaghetti squash lasagna, we're gonna roast up some carrots. So I just got oil and pepper, salt, and garlic powder on these babies. And we're gonna roast them up. And then we're gonna have some Ezekiel bread, garlic toast. So basically, it's garlic bread with using Ezekiel bread because it's gluten-free, and we try to remain gluten-free as well. All right, so you put this in the oven for how long?
I put it in at 375 for 20 minutes covered with tinfoil, and then I took the tinfoil off and left it in for another 15 minutes. Then
Okay.
I took it out
And
I let it sit.
all right, looks good. Let's go see what this baby tastes like, right?
Yeah.
All right. Can we give it a try, Robin?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Delicious as usual.
All right. So it's, you can see we got the lasagna, we got a piece of Ezekiel bread with a little bit of butter, plant-based butter and garlic powder, and we've got carrots. All right. All right, I'm gonna give it a try. It is good. Good job.
So we're just about done with our dog walk. Hey, Chris.
Hey, how you guys doing?
And this is what our dog walks have come down to. We found this on our dog walk, which we really need desperately. What'd you get, Chris, on your walk?
I got some paper towels, just 4 of them, but we only have like a half a roll left, so we're glad to see it, right? And I'm kind of glad that it looks like that maybe, you know, we've solved this stuff on the shelves, that maybe we're getting a little bit back to normal. I don't know.
Yeah. Just different kinds of sightings on a dog walk nowadays.
Well, all right, this ends another week of being vegan. 11 weeks and going strong, and I'm feeling really good about it. And again, I'm really happy that it's not only helping my health and it's not only helping the animals out, but it's also helping the world, which is why I'm showing you views from space of this beautiful world that we live in. And I'm just really glad and blessed that I'm doing my part in helping to keep it clean and keeping it beautiful. And I really am grateful that we live on this beautiful earth. So until next week, I'll see you. If you like this video, please click on the thumbs up button, and also please subscribe and click on the notification button to get all this great content that's coming up every week. Thank you.